Today we are breaking down a deeply emotional and beautifully uncomfortable romantic drama that asks one of the hardest questions a person can face. What happens when a 10-year marriage goes quiet and an old love comes back louder than ever? This is the kind of story that does not let you pick a side easily, because everyone in it is carrying something real. The movie opens with Nina, a warm and loving woman who is happily playing with her two daughters inside their home. Out of nowhere, her husband Maciek shows up early to surprise the whole family. Maciek is the kind of man who lives for adventure, and trekking is his greatest passion in life. Every single year, without fail, he packs his bags and heads out for a full month of solo trekking deep into the wilderness. But this time around, he has come back far earlier than anyone expected. Nina, genuinely curious, asks him how he managed to wrap things up so quickly. Maciek seems a little irritated by the question and admits with a quiet sigh that he simply made a mistake. Right from the very beginning, we can sense that something has quietly shifted between them. The warmth between this couple is still there, but underneath it, there's a noticeable distance, a feeling that Maciek has been slowly taking this relationship and this family for granted without even recognizing it. The next scene takes us to Nina's office, where she's going about her regular workday. But today she is in for a surprise of a very different kind. A new colleague has just joined her department, and the moment she sees his face, she freezes completely. Standing right there in front of her is Yannick, a man she once knew very well from a completely different chapter of her life. Both of them are totally caught off guard. Nina asks him directly, "What are you doing here?" Yannick answers with a calm and familiar smile. "Today is my first day." It quickly becomes clear that Yannick is likely the new assistant she had been expecting since they have been placed in the same department. We soon learn that these two share a history far deeper than just being familiar faces. Nina and Yannick were once in a relationship together, and what they had between them was the kind of rare connection that simply does not come around very often. The chemistry between Nina and Yannick is immediate and impossible to ignore. In fact, Nina is quite openly flirtatious with him from the very start, practically inviting him out on a date right there in the office hallway. But before their conversation can go any further, a colleague steps in and reminds them both that there is work to be done. Later that day, Nina receives a call from her mother. Tonight, the family has planned a party because today is Nina and Maciek's wedding anniversary. 10 full years of marriage. And Nina had completely forgotten about it. Now she has to scramble and get everything ready in time. She picks up the phone and calls Maciek. Maciek tells her he is completely buried in work today. Nina interrupts him and says, "At least hear me out first. Our daughter needs to be picked up from school." Maciek, still distracted, tells her to just ask her mother to handle it. Nina pushes back, saying if her mother gets involved it will turn into a whole production. Without missing a beat, Maciek goes ahead and calls Nina's mother himself. As it turns out, Maciek is in the middle of a major business deal. He is meeting with a top executive who is being considered to lead his company as CEO. During the meeting, the executive turns to Nina and tells her that if she were to leave her current job and come work with them, she would be offered double her existing salary. It is a tempting offer, and one that Maciek has clearly been putting a great deal of time and energy into building. Meanwhile, Nina finishes preparing everything for the evening, then heads to the school to pick up her daughter. When she arrives, she finds out that her mother had already come and taken the kids home. When Nina gets back to the house, her father is there helping out wherever he can. He is fully aware of the pressure Nina has been carrying. Nina's father quietly observes everything going on around him. He understands the dynamic better than most. He gently tells Nina that in any relationship, when only one person is doing all the heavy lifting, problems are bound to follow. Maciek needs to step up and show up too. Nina listens but defends Maciek, saying that having him in her life is already something she considers a real achievement. That evening, the anniversary party comes together, and Nina's mother delivers a warm and heartfelt speech in honor of 10 years. Later that night, Nina and Maciek finally find themselves alone together, moving closer to each other with the possibility of real connection. But before anything can happen, their daughter wanders in and climbs into bed between them. And just like that, the moment passes. In the days that follow, Nina and Yannick dive headfirst into a new project together at work. They have been tasked with creating a series, and Nina comes up with the concept of centering it around the human body, specifically exploring the insecurities that people carry about their own physical appearance. Yannick immediately connects with the idea. The two of them spend hours brainstorming together, talking about what it means to feel uncomfortable in your own skin and why so many people struggle with it. Yannick's core message is clear and powerful. He believes deeply that no one should ever feel ashamed of their body. The conversation flows between them with an ease and a familiarity that neither of them can quite explain. We are then shown a brief glimpse into their past. A younger Nina is telling a younger Yannick that she is older than him and that his friends and classmates might tease him about the age gap between them. Yannick looks at her and says without hesitation, "I do not care about any of that." He wants her to meet his friends and invites her into his world completely. Back in the present, Nina accidentally spills coffee on her desk. While cleaning up, Yannick notices a small framed family photo in her drawer. He picks it up and looks at it carefully. He is visibly surprised. He asks Nina the names of her two daughters. When she tells him, the look on his face shifts entirely. He is stunned, because those are the exact same names that the two of them had quietly decided on together years ago, back when they were young and in love and dreaming about a future that never came to be. Nina had given her daughters the names they once chose together, and she had never stopped carrying that piece of their story. Yannick had only recently moved back to this city. The last time he walked out of Nina's life, it was not by choice but by circumstance. He had been required to relocate to another country, and the distance became too much to hold on to. When Nina asks him how that experience was, Yannick says simply, "I did everything I set out to do. I learned what I needed to learn, and I explored everything I wanted to explore." One evening not long after, Yannick's sister comes to visit him. She takes one look at her brother and immediately knows something is different about him. She asks, "What is going on with you? You seem completely different. Are you falling for someone?" Yannick just smiles. His sister lights up and asks who the girl is. Yannick tells her she is beautiful. His sister asks if she is single. He tells her no. She is married and she has two daughters. His sister goes quiet for a moment and then says, "You are going to tear apart someone's home." Yannick looks at her seriously and says, "I ran away from love once before. I am not doing that again." That night, Nina is lying in bed texting Yannick when Maciek walks in carrying a bottle of wine. He is in a great mood and tells her his big business deal has finally gone through. He is excited and wants to celebrate. He suggests the two of them plan a weekend getaway together, somewhere just for the two of them. But then in the same breath, he mentions that he has been thinking about heading to Iceland again for another month. Nina looks up and says, "I thought you were not going for another 2 or 3 months." Maciek tells her he needs to go sooner than planned. Nina takes a breath and tells him, "I have so many responsibilities here. Everything falls on me. My new project is just getting started. How am I supposed to manage all of this on my own?" Maciek waves it off and says she will figure it out. She always does. Nina gets frustrated and walks away. The next morning, Maciek drops the girls off at his mother's place so that Nina can have some breathing room during the workday. During the days leading up to his departure, Nina and Yannick go out together for their project, photographing people in various locations around the city. As they work side by side and move through the world together, they find themselves getting physically closer to each other in small and almost unintentional ways. Then the day comes for Maciek to leave. Everyone gathers to see him off at the airport. Maciek tells them all they did not need to come. Nina tells him, "We talked about this. It's a good thing that we are here to say goodbye." Maciek thanks her but adds, "Next time really you do not have to." Nina is quietly hurt by that, but she lets it go. Maciek walks through the departure gate and he is gone. With Maciek away, Nina's days begin to shift. She takes her daughters to the park and spends quiet afternoons trying to hold everything together. One evening she and Yannick go out to dinner together. The night air is cold, and without a second thought Yannick slides his jacket off his shoulders and drapes it around her. While Nina is distracted on a phone call, Yannick quietly lifts his phone and takes a few pictures of her. He tells her it is for their project. She laughs and turns the camera back on him. The next day at the office, Yannick pulls up the photos and the two of them sit together, looking through them. He is close to her, very close. Then Nina gets a call from home. One of her daughters has come down with a fever. She rushes home and starts searching for the first aid kit, but cannot find it anywhere. She calls Maciek. He tells her he brought the kid along with him on his trip. Nina is immediately frustrated. She says he should have left something behind. She is asking for help, and he tells her flatly, "I cannot help you from all the way out here." Then he hangs up. Separately, Yannick has been dragged along to an after-work gathering where someone makes a rude and dismissive comment about Nina. It bothers him deeply. He excuses himself, calls Nina, and tells her he wants to bring medicine and food over to help. He shows up quickly and takes care of everything. That night before leaving, he sets a handwritten note on the kitchen counter. It reads, "If you ever need anything at all, just call me. I will be there." He had also quietly prepared a warm and beautiful dinner for her before he left. Nina stands in the kitchen reading the note, and something stirs inside her that she has not felt in a very long time. Maciek is alone out on the trail. He misses Nina more than he expected to. The next day, Yannick comes back to the house bringing chocolates and more medicine. One of Nina's daughters absolutely loves him from the moment he walks in. But the other one, the one who is still not feeling well, senses that something feels off. She is not comfortable with him being there. Yannick reads the room and leaves without making a thing of it. Shortly after he goes, Nina gets a call from Maciek. He asks to speak to the girls, and while talking to one of them, he casually finds out that Yannick had come over to help. He had no idea. He asks Nina directly, "Who came over?" Nina tells him calmly that she called Yannick for some help. Maciek tells her she should have called her mother instead. The conversation ends awkwardly. Not long after, Nina's mother shows up at the front door with her bags. Maciek had called and asked her to come stay until he got back. One afternoon at the office, Nina and Yannick find themselves alone together inside the elevator. In the quiet of that small enclosed space, they move closer and they kiss. Someone steps into the elevator at the next floor, and Nina immediately steps back and walks out. That evening, Maciek calls Nina. He asks if everything is okay. He asks if she is angry with him. Nina says quietly, "Did you give me a reason to be?" Maciek goes silent and hangs up. Back at the house, Nina's mother is tidying up when she finds a wine bottle cap tucked under some things. She brings it up, reminding Nina that the children are home and drinking around them is not something she approves of. Nina's mother is calm but direct. She does not need to raise her voice to make her point. In the days that follow, Nina and Yannick continue their research sessions, and the line between professional and personal keeps getting harder to see. One evening, Yannick tells Nina she is staying with him tonight. They go back to his place together and become intimate. At one point, Nina opens up quietly, saying her body has changed after having 2 children and she carries a complicated relationship with that. Yannick listens without judgment. Back at the house, what little communication Nina and Maciek still had has almost completely faded away. We then see Nina and Yannick at a quiet resort, getting massages and spending unhurried, easy time together. On the way there, Nina had brought Maciek's car. Yannick notices it and says the car is beautiful. He asks her why she does not always drive something like this. Nina says simply, "It is Maciek's. I do not really have anything of my own. Just me and my daughters." They end up walking along the edge of a lake as the sun goes down. Yannick tells her it feels like he could stay in this exact moment with her forever. Nina says she feels exactly the same. They both want to disappear from the rest of the world. And then the question of her daughters comes up, and her family, and the reality of everything waiting for them back home. That question keeps finding its way back to the surface no matter how far they try to run from it. That night, Nina comes home and cries. She opens up to her mother and through tears says, "I have fallen in love with someone, and I do not think I can live without him." Her mother listens and then tells her plainly, "You are going to destroy everything you have built. You have not thought this through. What about your daughters? What about Maciek and the man you love? One day, he is going to want children of his own. A man cannot live without that. You need to think about all of it. Family is the only thing that truly matters." Nina's mother ends the conversation by saying, "Whatever you decide, I will always be right here for you." The next day at the office, things take a turn when a colleague walks in and finds Yannick giving Nina a shoulder massage at her desk. The colleague confronts them both and says, "What exactly is going on between the two of you? This is completely inappropriate." Neither of them responds. They simply ignore her and move on. Later that day, Yannick tells Nina that before joining this company, he had interviewed for a major position elsewhere, and the offer has come through. It is a significant opportunity. He tells her she could come with him. Nina listens and then says clearly, "You should take that job. You should go. I cannot leave my family behind. This is what is best for everyone." Meanwhile, out on the trekking trail, Maciek stops to rest near a scenic overlook and ends up in conversation with an older man he meets there. The man opens up and tells Maciek that he always dreamed of coming to this exact place with his girlfriend, but life kept getting in the way. He says she was always by his side and always in his corner, but he took her for granted every single day. He never gave her the respect or the attention she deserved. Eventually, he ended things with her. A full year later, he found out that she had already been diagnosed with cancer before he walked away. He should have been there. He was not. And now he carries that every single day. Maciek sits with this quietly. The weight of those words hits him hard. He thinks of Nina and everything she carries alone. He thinks of all the times he's been absent, distracted, or dismissive. Something shifts inside him. He knows it is time to go home. Back in the city, Nina sits down for a long and honest conversation with her father. He already knows everything through her mother. Her father looks at her gently and says, "I went through something like this myself once. A long time ago. I made a decision for the sake of this family, for your sake, because I was afraid of what it would do to you if things fell apart." He pauses. "I regret that decision now, because I have come to believe that if parents are not truly happy, children cannot be truly happy either. Whatever you choose, choose it for the right reasons." His words settle over Nina quietly. She realizes things she had never allowed herself to see before. She goes to Yannick and tells him she needs distance. Yannick tells her gently, "Please, staying away from you is already one of the hardest things I have ever done. Do not make it harder." But Nina does not hold back, and the two of them become intimate once more. What Nina does not realize is that just before this moment, she had been on a phone call with Maciek, and the call had never actually disconnected. Maciek heard everything. He is absolutely devastated. That night, he calls Nina and confronts her. Nina, in tears, goes to Yannick and tells him Maciek knows everything. Yannick holds her and tells her it is going to be okay. The next morning, as Maciek is making his way back through the wilderness to leave, he spots a man lying motionless at the bottom of a ravine below the trail. The man had suffered a serious fall while trekking. Without hesitating for a single second, Maciek calls the rescue team and then climbs down himself to reach the man. Nina drives to the airport to pick Maciek up, but the rescue team is already there waiting for her. One of the team members, a woman, explains to Nina that Maciek saw a hiker injured down in a ravine and went in to help him. She tells Nina, "Come with us. We will take you to him." On the way, the rescue team member opens up a little about her own life. She tells Nina that she and her husband are both in emergency rescue work. When she's out on a call, he stays home and takes care of the kids. When he is working, she is the one holding everything down at home. They take turns. They show up for each other without keeping score. They are moving through life together as a real team. Nina listens and feels the weight of those words in a way she cannot fully explain. Then the call comes in. When Maciek was climbing back up out of the ravine after helping the injured hiker, he lost his footing. He himself had an accident on the way up. The rescue team brings them both to the hospital. Nina rushes in and finds the doctor. She asks if Maciek is going to be all right. The doctor tells her carefully, "He is in a coma right now. We cannot tell you anything for certain until he comes out of it." Nina goes and sits beside Maciek's bed in silence. Her phone buzzes. It is Yannick. He asks when she is coming home. Nina tells him the whole situation and says quietly, "I cannot come back to you. Not now." Yannick cuts the call without a word. The next day, he shows up at the hospital. He stands in front of her and says, "I know this is one of the hardest decisions you have ever had to make. I'm not here to pressure you. Whatever you decide is right. I will respect it, and I will wait." Nina thanks him, and then she goes back inside to Maciek's room alone. She sits beside him, takes his hand, and speaks to him softly. She says, "I still love you. I have always loved you. Please give us one more chance." She holds his hand tightly. Maciek cannot squeeze back. One side of his body may be paralyzed from the fall. But Nina does not let go. She has made her decision. She is staying. She is choosing her family. And that is exactly where the film ends. If you made it all the way to the end of this story, thank you so much for watching. This one was a quiet and deeply human film about love, loss, choices, and the things we take for granted until it is almost too late. If you enjoyed this breakdown, please go ahead and hit the like button and leave a comment down below telling us what you thought. We bring you new movie stories all the time, so make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications so you never miss a single one. Until next time, take good care of yourselves.